Hey everyone, it's Charlene. Today I'm going to be sharing with you this beautiful card that I made using some of the new products from Honeybee Stamps. These come out tomorrow. I'm super excited. Starting out here with the gorgeous vintage Flora stamp. This has so much texture and goodness, and I just have my stamp wheel there. I'm going to stamp this out with some really light gray ink, and it's going to create this beautiful background piece with all this florals and scripty writing. This stamp would look great on the background of a card. I'm not using it for a background today, but it would absolutely look gorgeous on a background. So I'm just making sure to get really good coverage with my ink, and then I'm going to do nice pressure all over the stamp. Now the nice part about red rubber stamps is you can get really fine details from these, so you'll notice that all of the writing, everything is very, very crisp. Now I have here the Tag Builder Honey Cuts. I'm going to use the largest of the tags here to cut out a tag from that piece that we just created. So I'll do that off camera, and now I'm going to take the scrap here that I have left over, and I'm going to cut this down to 2 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And you're going to see it doesn't go all the way across there at the bottom, but I'm not concerned about that because you're not going to see that portion, because I'm going to create a little pocket for the front of my tag. So I have my scoreboard, and I'm going to go around on 3 sides and score this at 1/4 inch. So that way when I fold those score lines over, it's going to create a nice little pocket, and you'll see what I meant by you're not going to see that little piece down there at the bottom that's missing. I'm going to cut out the corner where the score lines cross over, so that way this all folds up much easier, and then I will use my bone folder to reinforce those folds just to make sure that it is really nice and smooth where those fold lines are. You could use double-sided tape, or you can use liquid glue like I'm doing here in order to adhere your pocket to the front of the tag. Whatever works better for you. I do like to put a heavy acrylic block or some magnets over the top, so that way I can make sure it stays nice and secure. Here I have the Textiles and Textures paper pad. This is a beautiful paper pad. You can see it has all these different textures and different kinds of textiles, things like paper or burlap. I've chosen this really pretty piece here that looks like pressed paper with pressed florals in it. It's just gorgeous. And I'm using the Lace Heart Layering Frame Dies. And I'm going to use the largest frame that's scalloped there, and I'm going to use the smaller of the 2 scalloped hearts. Now these are really pretty because they cut but also emboss. And then I'm going to bring back in that large tag, that same one that we used earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and cut all 3 of these out with my die cutting machine. Now I have a piece of pink paper here, and I have cut out the smaller of the 2 frame pieces. And now I'm going to add a little bit of ink blending here and there in order to tie everything together and to add a little bit of depth and dimension to the finished card. So I have some nice pink ink that's going to match that cardstock that I used, and I'm going to run it all the way around the tiny heart that I cut out, and now you can see that beautiful embossed detail it has around the edge. And I'm going to cut out a second tag. I'm going to use the next smallest size tag to do that. And I'm going to go around that as well with the pink ink. So these are pink paper, but I'm going around them with the pink ink, and it's going to kind of darken up the edges, and it'll seamlessly sort of blend. Lastly, I'm going to come back in around on the larger scalloped piece with the pink ink, and I'm using the Waffle Flower No. 1 shader to do that. It makes it really easy to shade around the edges on your die cuts. Here I have the new Postmarked stamps. These are great for journaling, tags, all kinds of stuff. I've taken the little floral bouquet here, and I'm stamping it in some intense black ink right in the center of our pink tag there. And then I've stamped the sentiment special delivery here in the center of the scalloped heart. And then lastly, I'm going to add a little bit of stamping on the pink frame piece. And this is just going to add some texture. You're not going to see very much of this, but adding these little pieces that add some texture to your card just create a lot of interest when you're looking at it. So I've got a little piece of twine here from my stash, and I'm just going to go ahead and run it through the tag. I do that by folding it in half and then putting the center portion through the back, and then I can pull the two little tails through the loop that is created on the front. And now I can put the card together. Look at the back of that scalloped piece, the pressed flower piece. It has that cool almost macrame pattern on the other side. Very cool. So I've added some liquid glue here, and I'm just putting it on top of an A2 sized card base. So that's going to be 4¼ inches by 5½ inches. Next, I'm adding the pink frame piece that we created, and I'm just going to glue that right to the center. You could pop this up with some foam tape if you wanted to, but I'm going to pop up a couple of the other pieces, and I didn't want to have too much dimension here on the front of my card. So you can see now our cute little tag that we created fits nicely in the pocket that we created. And I have some foam tape here on the back of my scalloped heart piece. So I'm going to pop this on the front of the tag. I always feel like the sentiment does well when it's popped up with foam tape, or if there's a couple of extra layers glued behind it. It just helps it to not get lost among the other elements of your card. And I'm being careful to make sure I don't stick the tag down to our beautiful larger tag with the foam tape. So hopefully that makes sense. So I went ahead and glued the two tags together offset, and then on the back of the back tag, I went ahead and added some more of the low loft foam tape. I added several different pearls in light pink and a darker shade of pink from the beautiful vintage pearl stickers. These are so easy to use. And now I'm going to stamp one last thing. I decided I wanted to stamp on the inside of my card with another one of those cute little stamps. I'm using that same pink ink that I have used throughout the card, and this will make it feel like the inside of the card matches the outside of the card. So I have that cute little birdcage stamp there. It's got a little floral next to it, and I'm just going to stamp it right down in the bottom right corner. And you can see how these stamps would be really versatile for cards, journaling, lots of different stuff. So here is our finished card. I think it turned out very nice. I hope you guys picked up some tips and tricks today. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell so that I can continue bringing you more crafty content in the future. Until next time, happy crafting.